Good afternoon. So today, I was looking at various other developments, what's getting the world's focus back, what the world is talking about today or in the recent times. And I realized one area where I have been absolutely quiet or I have not focused at all so far, and that's sort of a serious lapse when I'm talking about MBA curriculum, how MBA should be, taught in universities, if at all somebody is attending at the cost of $100,000, $200,000, or whatever lakhs of rupees in India. One area I have been absolutely quiet is leadership, and that is very important. So, in the leadership today morning, I tried to do a video blog on political leadership, why or where I stress that why the political leadership of both the main political parties of India they disappoint, be it in BJP or in Indian National Congress. But I have not been much or not at all focusing on the leadership in the university curriculum, even in a professional field like or application field like MBA. Leadership is very critical, and I was trying to look at it how different universities offer leadership as a course. Is it a core course? Is it a part of an elective? Is it part of even HR elective, or even if it is offered as an elective, it comes more under general management or it comes more under HR. Leadership is very critical, and I that's the point I'm trying to talk about now. Leadership is all about how the company is being run, what type of company it is, what are the focus areas, what type of you know priorities the company sets for itself. So one part is that it is not only purely marketing, because you cannot do marketing beyond the point, it doesn't sell. It is all about trying to talk with your stakeholders, with your customers, like who is a Google's customer, who is a customer of Twitter, who is a customer of Facebook, who is a customer of Nvidia, who is a customer of Reliance Jio, who is a customer of whatever you do, you look at it. Some are B2B, most are into B2C domain. So you need to really look at, leaders matter, and leadership matters more in the time of crisis, when the company is not doing good, when the company is probably like a sinking ship. The leaders come and talk and try to motivate the employees, they try to talk and ensure the shareholders get an honest picture of the company. So leadership really matters, and I was trying to see that in academic leadership, how is India placed? Who is talking about what needs to be done in India in academic space? Because everybody acknowledges that academics is very important in India. It has been there for the last 30 years, 40 years. It has been greatly ignored. All policy documents will show that India did not devote as much resources as it was needed, primary education to higher education to research, and we have been merely paying lip services on academics, why it is important to uplift India, be it a $5 trillion, be it that mid-income nations, whatever you talk about. So but we have not seen much, in my opinion, starting from the education minister to different vice chancellors talking about it, because in India you have public universities or elite institute national importance. Many of them even cannot talk honestly. They don't have that authority without the formal approval of the HR ministry or education ministry. And many of the state private universities face the same problem. They cannot talk honestly on a crisis in an university, on what they're focusing at. Many of those issues, burning issues, they have to first talk with, take permission from maybe education minister. Education minister will take permission from the prime minister office as prime minister. And the leadership, be it in the again you look at it, leadership in say Narendra Modi, he is sort of one. Many people say he is the only leader. He doesn't groom other leaders. He doesn't develop other leaders in BJP. Same as with Indian National Congress. And even if I look at it, key government universities, private universities, I don't see their leaders talking that much, or they recognize that the importance to speak out as often as need be. Probably they speak out when necessary, and probably there the need is like as little as less as possible, because you talk and you get into problem, you get into trouble with the authorities of the state or the center. But leadership is very important, and it is very important in companies also. What is important, and when you talk about leadership, you can't delegate that. I think many of the universities promoters talk or try to be the leader. They are not the leader. The university leader is a vice chancellor. He is the leader. You can't say like it is like Manmohan Singh's time. You can't allow Sonia Gandhi to be the leader and Manmohan Singh as a follower. So in universities also similarly, you can't have a vice chancellor and then allow the promoter to act as a leader or be the visionary of the universities. These create fundamental problems, and these create fundamental challenges, rather, I believe. So it is some universities do try that. It is not only the one person becoming the leader. You can follow the JRD style, who developed huge amount of leaders or huge number of leaders in Tata Empire, like Rusi Modi, Darbadi Seth, and TCS. TCS was always new, that was not a problem, but many of these, Rusi Modi or Darbadi Seth and others, they later became challenge for JRD Tata, not Jerry, Ratan Tata when he took over, and they were like doyens, and they would not allow Ratan Tata to have a very free hand in running the organization or realigning the organization to the changing times, his global ambitions. So whatever. So my point is that leadership, I have been quiet about it. Leadership is very important. And it is very important in change management. Another thing that the change management has become very essential in nowadays. If change was happening at a rate of X, now it is happening at the rate of 5x, 10x in many industries. I'm not saying all. A steel plant still works in the same old way, a cement plant, a refinery. They are probably, and then there is a mining worker. If you look at a miner in a coal mine like Coal India Limited, he or she is not doing much of a front ending or talking with the customers. He is not doing much of the what do I say, that trying to speak to somebody to explain your point of view. But the leader of even Coal India or a steel plant or a cement plant or a refinery, he needs to take into account somebody who is probably working in the back end, in the workshop, in the refinery, in the coal mine. He needs to include all the interest of his employees. He needs to include the shareholders, stakeholders, various stakeholders, even including society, environment, all that. So it is very important that leadership is very critical. Leadership be offered as a general management course in most universities. They do that as a core course. And most importantly, the communication part of leadership. In my first video blog, I tried to say why communication is important and critical. You can't have a leader and let the communication part be done by somebody else. And as change management accelerates in many of the service industries or IT industries, AI, I think the leaders need to come to the press, talk to the people. That is not happening with our Prime Minister. He doesn't face the press. Today the world is talking about, that 400 kilometers Chinese rail, and then they mock India that we are digging our 400 years old mosques or temples to identify what is what. What we need is that, leadership will need to clearly define that we need to set up new hospitals, new schools, new universities, new plants which will generate lots of employment, because we don't have employment. So the priorities of the nations now is very confusing. Is it Hindu Muslim? Is it Congress versus BJP? All blames are on Congress. BJP is trying to say that Congress needs to be blamed. Congress trying to say that BJP needs to be blamed for whatever is happening. And though somebody who is in the wheel, it is the Prime Minister, he has all the authority. He doesn't delegate authority. That is very clear from his style of functioning. But his style of functioning is not very forward-looking or, what should I say, conducive for India's development. So leadership is important. Priorities of the leader is important. How the leader communicates to the nation, take questions, and three honest questions, not that Godi media question or a Godi media question. So it is important that leadership is very important. Leaders need to communicate, and in times of transition, leaders need to come and face, talk to the employees, talk to the shareholders, talk to the society, talk to the populace at large, to define what he or she is trying to achieve. And leadership and communication is very important in this arena. And again, I'm saying finally one point I should try to say: leadership is also probably mostly psychological. I'm not saying leadership, when you teach leadership to somebody, leadership is all psychological. How do the leader sees himself? How do the leader positions himself? How does the leader, grooms the other next level leaders? How much authority he or she passes on to the next level leaders? Does he feel threatened if the next level leaders try to come and say they are better than the current leader now? It should not be that way, because if the organization is growing, the leader will find a new place to grow, or he becomes old, he retires happily. So these are the important questions. Leadership is very critical, and everything, all priorities, everything depends on the leader. So this part also, and psychology and leadership go together. That's the point I'm trying to say, why psychology is so much important for an MBA curriculum. Thank you.